Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm doing a playthrough of Coffee Roaster. In this solitaire board game, we'll be playing the role of a bean roaster, trying to produce a coffee creation that matches a target roast level. I chose a beginner level bean for this playthrough, the Crystal Mountain from Cuba. This is a bean with great consistency and wonderful balance, and is universally loved. A bean that is easy for beginner roasters, but can lose flavor if over roasted. So I've taken all 26 tokens that are listed right here on this card. We have 14 level 0 beans, 2 of these hard beans, 2 moisture tokens, 1 reject bean, and then 2 body, 3 acidity, and 2 aroma. All of these go into the bag. We shuffle up the bag. We want to place our roast counter on 0. We place 3 smoke tokens on the 12 spot, 2 smoke tokens on the 10 spot, and we place the round marker here on the 9 because we only have 2 moisture in the bag. If you started with more moisture, you would start at earlier rounds. And there we go, we're all ready to begin. Don't worry if you don't know how to play, I'm going to teach as we go, so let's just dive right in. The first thing we do is draw tokens from the bag equal to our round number. That's a big old 9 right there, so we're going to draw 9 tokens. The first thing we would do is discard any moisture tokens that showed up, but none have appeared. We can now spend tokens on this left side of the board in order to take the corresponding action. There's 5 of them that we can do for the entire game. I'll explain these as we go along, but briefly, we could put a 1 and a 0, and we don't have a 1 yet, we haven't roasted anything. But if we put both of those tokens there, we can get a wild flavor token. Here we can play a body, and we drew 2 of those in order to just draw 2 more tokens out of the bag. Here we can play any flavor token in order to return 2 to the bag and draw 2 additional ones. Here we can play an aroma in order to draw 5 out of the bag, select 2 of them to trash to get out of the bag completely, and then put the rest back in the bag. And then here we can discard any smoke, burnt beans, and reject beans that we have in our pile. I'm not really interested in performing any of those actions at the moment, so I'm going to move on to the next phase. At this point, I could use these flavor tokens for their special ability. There's 3 different flavors, and they each do something different. Again, I'll explain those later. I don't really want to do that at this time, so I'm going to skip that as well. Now we're just going to roast the beans that we have here. So the first thing we have is this hard bean. Whenever you roast the hard bean, it just becomes a 0. We now take our zeros. We have 4 0 beans. We roast them, so they go from a 0 to a 1. So now we have 4 1s, which means we've increased the roast value of our bag by 4. And we can keep track of that here. The reason that's important is because we are trying to shoot for a specific roast value in our cup during our cup test at the end of the game. Ideally, we'd like to hit exactly 14 points. And we're going to be doing that by drawing 10 random chips out of the bag and putting them in our cup. So when we draw those 10 chips, we want them to total 14 points, if at all possible. Then we'd get 10 victory points. So we have a bunch more roasting that we need to do. Now, everything else that we didn't use just gets put back into the bag. So all of this goes into the bag. We mix it up, And there we go. We're ready for the next round. Now, at this point, we have a decision. We could either continue to roast, or we could stop and go directly to the cup test phase. Obviously, we want to continue to roast, so we're going to move on to the next round. We move the marker up, and because we moved into this space that has these smoke tokens, we're going to add them to the bag. That's just more bad stuff in the bag. And we're at round 10, so we're drawing 10 chips. Oh, wow. Okay, not bad. Okay, the very first thing that happens is the moisture goes away. That just goes out of the game immediately. We're done with that. Now, because we're here on round 10, this is a red round, which means that when we roast, instead of going up by 1 value, we're going to go up by 2. So right now, all of these zeros that we have are all going to become 2s rather than 1s. That's going to add 14 roast value to our bag. That's a lot. Now we have this acidity flavor token. We could place it here in order to put 2 of these back into the bag and then draw 2 more. I think that seems like a good thing to do. So we're going to place this here. Let's put this smoke and 1 of these zeros back into the bag. And then we'll draw 2 more. Ooh, okay. We got 2 more flavor. It might be worth putting the aroma there so that we could draw 5 out. Maybe we'll get some of those bad beans and we could get rid of them now that we have so much good stuff here. A little risky. I think maybe we'll just stick with what we have. And once again, I don't really want to use the flavor powers here, so I think let's just go right to the roasting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros are becoming 2s because we're in a double roast phase. That's adding 12 more roast value up to 16. And these just get added back into the bag. We didn't use them. So we could stop now, but that doesn't seem like enough roast value, so let's keep going on. We're now drawing 11. Ooh, wow. A lot of flavor came out. First thing, the moisture gets discarded. We have the 0 and the 1 if we wanted to get that wild flavor token, which would be nice. Yeah, I think I don't mind that. Let's go ahead and do that. We have a lot of flavor. I think we'll stick with this. Yeah, I think we're done taking these actions here. We're going to move on to the next phase where we can use these flavor tokens' special abilities, and I think I want to. The first flavor token I want to use is this aroma. Now, aroma lets you turn 1 bean into 2 beans. It does dispersion. So I can take this 2 and I can turn it into 2 1s. And then when you use one of these flavor tokens, you then can place it here on this right side. And if you complete any of these, you get one of these tokens, which will help you do something, give you a special ability for the cup test phase. I think I want to put it right here. I'm then going to use one of these acidities. Acidity lets you take 2 beans and keep them from roasting. It's known as preservation. So I'm going to take these 2 beans and keep them from roasting. I'm then going to place that here, And because we filled that out, we get this token. That's going to give me a great little special ability during the cup test phase. When we're drawing tokens for those 2 spots, we get to draw 2 out and pick 1. Okay, that's it. That's all of the flavor tokens I want to use. So the rest of this is just going to come over here and go into the bag. We basically ended up not increasing any of our roast value, but actually we decreased it because we put one of the beans, a level 1, up there. So we're actually down to 15 roast value in our bag. I definitely want to go another round. So we're picking up 3 of those smoke tokens, unfortunately. We got all 5 of them in the bag, but we got another red round here. So we're going to do another double roast, and we're drawing 12 tokens this time. Ooh. I'm definitely worried about over roasting here, but oh, I think we might just have to risk it. Well, here, let's use this body here. That's going to let us discard the smoke out of the game, because if any of that got into our cup, that would be -1 point for each of those. So good riddance to that smoke. One of the things I could do is use this wild token for acidity and keep 2 of these from roasting. But the other thing is we do get points for having some of this flavor in our cup. And so we don't want to get rid of all of our flavor. But as you can see, there is 1 more of each of the 3 types of flavors still in the bag. So I could get away with using this. It's a little bit of a waste, but I think I will. I'm going to use this for its acidity. We're going to save 2 of these from being roasted, because I feel like we might be over-roasting. We can then place it out here on one of these spots. I don't think it's going to matter, because I don't think I'm going to do another roasting round. Keep in mind, though, when you use it, you have to place it on a spot that matches whatever you used it for. So since we made that an acidity, it has to go on one of the spaces where an acidity could go. I'll put it right there. That's it. So these 2s, because we're in the double phase, these are becoming 4s. Now, 4s are as much as you can roast a bean. This is as dark as we can roast that. And if we were to roast a 4 again, it would become a burnt bean, which would be worth a -1 point at the end of the game if it wound up in our cup. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to burn anything. These 1s are going to become 3s. And the 0 becomes a 2, which means we increased our roast value by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 25 total roast value now. You know what? We could go on if we wanted to, but I'm actually going to stop. I think that's going to be as much roasting as I want to do. That means we move on to the second half of the game, which is the cup test. So here we go. We've roasted our beans. Now we're brewing a cup of coffee, and we want it to be the best cup of coffee that we can, which in this case means we want to get 14 roast value here in our cup. We're going to have these 10 spaces that we're drawing into. And we're just going to do this one by one. Ooh, we got a hard bean. So we never got this thing roasted. You can see that little X there means it's going to be worth -1 point in our cup. That is not something that we want. Luckily, we do have this little space over here on the tray. We got 3 spaces where we can put stuff off to the side, keep it out of our cup. Now, if we had managed to get this extender tray over here, we would have 2 more spaces for this, which would have been nice, but we didn't get it. Let's go again. Okay, a 3 bean. Very nice, very nice. It's funny because if we had gotten this part right here, that just gives you a 3 value into your cup right from the beginning. It would go here and you wouldn't draw into that space. But we got a 3 just from drawing. Ooh, a 1. Okay. I think I'll keep that. I'm a little worried that we over roasted, so I don't mind having some lower value beans in there. Ooh, a 0. You know what? Let's do it. We have quite a bit of bad stuff in the bag, so I don't want to clog up our tray with beans, right? Okay, so far we've done 3 tokens. We have 4 value. We want to get 10 more value. And like I said, we'd also like to get some of those flavors in there as well. But here we are at our special ability. For these 2 spots, we're going to get to draw 2 tokens and pick one of them. Ooh, well, there we go. That's an easy choice. Let's put this body in there. And this will just go back into our bag. Our special ability is paying off already. Okay. Well, not in this case. We have to put a 2. Well, things are looking okay so far. A 1. All right, we're halfway there. But we know we have some 4s in here, so I'm not too worried about that. Ooh, a 0. Okay. We only need 2 4s, and that would get us right to 14, like exactly. So I'm gonna put that 0 there. That may be foolish, but... Ooh, bad smoke. Let's tray that. We do not want that. Okay, aroma. Now we really want to have one of those 4s show up. We might have undershot here. Oh, acidity. Whew. Now, I think I want to put this in here, okay? Because if we can get all 3 flavors, we go to these flavor point chart here, we're going to get 6 points for having all 3 of the different flavors. So I say, let's make this a flavorable cup. It's going to be a little under roasted. We really need that 4 now. This is our last draw. Ooh, a 2. Nope, we're going to put that right there. Oh, no. Oh, the reject bean got in the cup. This is by far the worst, most disgusting cup of coffee ever made. Okay, well, let's score it up. We ended up with a roast value of, what, 7? Wow, so that's below the 11 that we needed to score anything. So that's 0 roast points. We get nothing. We can then go to our flavor points, and here we actually did pretty well. We got all 3 of the different flavors, and you can see there 3, that's 6 points. If you don't get any flavors in there, you lose 3, and then on some of them, you can actually get up to 4 flavor points and get that maximum of 10, but not on these beginner level ones. So there we go, that's 6 points. You then can get some skill points if you have matching numbers in your cup. But you need at least 3 of a kind in order to get points for that. We didn't manage to do that at all, so no skill points. And then you're going to lose points for some of these really bad beans. The smoke and the hard bean and the burnt beans lose you 1 point. The reject bean is losing us 2 points. And then if you run out of chips and you can't fill the cup with 10 tokens, you lose 5 points. Well, we're at 6 minus 2. That is a horrendously terrible, undrinkable 4-point cup of coffee. Wow. In real life, we would be immediately fired from our jobs. We definitely could have used some of these additional tokens to help us out. The sweetness can go into that second spot on your cup and count as a wild flavor for the purposes of the flavor scoring. And some of the more advanced beans actually need that as one of their flavor points in order to get that max 10 points. And then this last one here just lets you, at the end of the game, take 2 of these tokens from your cup, put them back into the bag, and then draw 3 and put 2 into the cup. That would have been incredible, because we could have taken out that reject bean and one of those zeros and probably done quite well. We just needed to put 1 aroma in there. We really should have tried to do that. I think the other thing that we didn't show off is the special ability of the body flavor. This one basically lets you do the opposite of the aroma. You actually take 2 of the bean tokens and add them together to create 1. So you could take a 1 and a 2 to make a 3, something like that. Now we just did the trial menu, which is a shorter version of the game where you only do 1 type of bean. If you want to play the full menu game, you're actually going to do this 3 times, and you're going to pick from these different beans. You're going to start with the lighter colored ones. Then for the second round, you'll do one of these brown ones. And then for the third round, you'll do the dark brown. And then at the end, you would add up your score from all 3 rounds and get a rank based on this chart here on the back of the rulebook. But this should at least give you an idea of how to really, really poorly play Coffee Roaster. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.